It's cold.
You're right. You want to cuddle up?
No, Kevin, that's...
Okay. It's going to get a heck of a lot colder. It's going to get down to 15 degrees. 15 degrees or something like that. My grandpa lives over in eastern Washington. He said it's going to get negative 31 where he lives.
Is that enough to snow?
It might be enough to snow. I mean, 32 positive is enough to snow.
So
I'm thinking negative 31
is
is just about hits it. But
just
what
maybe.
does negative 31 even feel like? Because, like, compared to negative 10. Because we've never felt anything below, I think the lowest it ever got here, like in my life, was 11 degrees.
Oh
And
God, it went negative.
I don't think I've ever experienced negative or even below 10. So what would, like, negative 10, how would that be different from negative 31? Because I'm guessing it would be different, but we just can't possibly imagine what that would even feel like because
It's so
we've
cold.
never felt it and it's so cold. But I'm guessing there's a 21 degree difference.
I feel that once
Like
it
that's
gets
30 or 51.
I feel there's a certain point, Kevin, where it just gets so cold, it's getting colder, but you just can't feel it. Because it's all cold.
You'd think probably that might be the case because you get so numb. I saw a video recently of a guy who was in negative 50 degree weather who took a bucket of water
Oh, he's dead now.
and
He's
just
definitely
tossed
dead.
it up into the air to
Oh.
see like what would happen, and it like all turns to smoke or
Yes,
that's what it
It
turns
turns
to smoke.
it
pretty
turns
much.
to smoke,
Not-
actually.
this is water smoke.
No,
It's
it turns to smoke. Because it's so cold, it gets burnt up.
Is it actually? No.
Kevin!
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't check out. No, but it did like turn very, like into a gas. Like
It froze up and then
it
just
froze. It froze. It didn't like froze. It basically turned to snow almost. Yeah, that's kind of what it.
Because it
that's kinda
wasn't
what happened.
ice.
I've heard of stories of people being in such cold weather, probably around there, where they pee and they can make little pee like
That's...
statues out of ice that freezes their pee as they're peeing. So they just build it up and they have contests to see how high they can get it. We should make that as a video.
We'd have to move to a hella cold place.
Yeah,
and I'm
we're
not
just-
doing that,
We're just
Kevin.
traveling. We're just visit there.
No,
but-
Kevin, I don't like the cold.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of
It's
the
very...
cold.
Kevin, the cold or the hots?
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the cold or the hots. I think.
No,
like-
Kevin, choose one.
Oh, choose one.
You stupid.
If I okay,
Stoopy,
well,
stoopy.
let's set. Are we saying like either it was 120 degrees all the time or 0 degrees?
Would
all
you
the
not
time?
be... I swear you'd be dead if it's...
I know my parents or my mom while she was pregnant with me and my dad, or pregnant with my sister actually.
And your dad was
went to
pregnant
a
with your
concert
sister.
and my dad was pregnant with his sister. Yeah, it's a great family.
Okay.
They were at a Pearl Jam concert and it was like 116.
Oh, fuck that.
So, I mean, 120 you could survive. It would just be hella uncomfortable. I mean, some saunas, if you go into a sauna, I know it's only like 5-10 minutes, but I know Joe Rogan, my point of reference for everything, cranks that up to like 190 while he's in there. Apparently, you feel like really good after you come out, but it's like miserable while you're in there. So you could probably live, like, have a sustainable life, probably like 130 tops.
What degree... How like, boiling water. How hot is that?
Boiling water is 212, I think.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
I think it's 212 point whatever.
That's still pretty hot.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to try that. The hottest I've ever been in, probably like right around 100. I don't think it's ever really gone past that. But it's gotten close. It's gotten like 97 before.
80 something is hot, Kevin.
80 something's hot. I think the sweet spot for outside weather is like 65 to like 75. At 65 to 75 is probably the sweet spot. You could have, and like for nice weather, I guess, you'd have the sun out with some clouds. I wouldn't want complete blue sky. I don't really like it when it's just an endless sea of blue.
But then you can see all
But
the
you have
aliens.
like a light. That's true. That's one benefit. But then you have like a light breeze that comes through every now and then. If it's like I could survive like 80 degrees if there's a consistent breeze.
So that's like nighttime in Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. I like it when the nighttime is like kind of 65-ish, 70 degrees.
It's
I really
not
like
cold,
it when it's
but
like
it's
that.
cool.
It's cool and it's got that nighttime feel.
Nice and
But I
crisp.
also like rain. I like it when it rains. I don't like being outside in the rain, but I like the rain.
Why do you like the rain, Kevin?
I like the sound it makes. Like,
Oh, you
on
don't
the house
actually
and
like
the windows,
it. You just
and I
like
like.
the noise.
Well, I like the noise and I like the atmosphere. I like it when I like the general aura that rain gives off. Speaking of aura, completely switching gears, the Orb Mother, Marianne Williamson, dropped out of the presidential race today.
Who the fuck is the Orb Mother? Why is she called the Orb Mother, Kevin?
Well, because that she watches over us and proposes love will fix all of our problems. But I mean, she's been running since the beginning. She hasn't been on any debate since debate 2, and there's been 6.
Do you just show up, or do they elect you? Like, you have to have a certain popular vote type
to be on the debate stage? Okay, let's talk about it. So, for each debate, there's, like, different parameters that you have to meet. And because, there's a bunch of polls that come out all the time. They asked random samples of people. Who are you voting for? Who you like? And the first 2 debates, I think you just had to add 1% in, like, a certain amount of polls. It's always, like, 4 or 5 polls. But, unfortunately, the DNC...
What's that?
That's the Democratic...
Okay.
The people who do the debate stages, the Democrats, essentially. They pull a sneaky on you.
Oh, no.
And make only certain polls actually qualifying. So you can have a bunch of polls that come out that have you above, like, whatever percent you need. But they say, well, that one's not qualifying because... And it's always some BS answer. But the first 2 debates, it was only like you need 1%. And then the third debate, it was like 2%. And now for the next debate, debate 7, which is like in next week, you need 5% in 4 polls. And you have to meet a certain donor requirement. How many people donate to you?
Bruh.
So like Marianne Williamson there's only like 13 people left running. Maybe 12 out of like originally 30 or something.
Is Donald Trump also running for president?
See, I don't know. Trump, he's a really humble guy, and he might just back out of this one and let his good bro, Christian fundamentalist Mike Pence step in and take his spot instead.
I'm Mike Pence, and I like the death sentence.
Like the death sentence.
Or like,
gay people are questionable.
What was it? It was like, hi, I'm Mike Pence. Welcome to the death sentence, or something like that.
Yep, that's him. Our boy.
Pensy
But no,
Mike.
he's definitely running again.
Pensy Michael.
And now we're down to only 6 people have qualified for the next debate. And my boy Andrew Yang hasn't qualified, even though he's had a bunch of polls come out that show him at like 8 or 10%. But only 1 poll so far that's considered qualifying. And he's blown past the donor requirement.
He's blown everyone.
He's blown everyone like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Or something crazy.
Everyone. He's just blown everyone.
So on the next debate,
everyone.
and today's the last day where you can qualify for the next debate. So he's not going to be on the debate next time, which is very sad. But we have Bernie, America's dad, Bernard Sanders, will be there, along with Sloppy Joe Biden.
Okay.
Elizabeth Warren, who is slipping in the polls recently.
She's falling.
She's falling hard.
She's falling, and
Falling
no one's
hard
going to catch her.
Because she's a woman, and we hate women.
Some world we live in.
And then Tom Steyer.
I don't even know who that is.
He's one of the 2 billionaires running.
I sure love my billionaires.
Gotta love him.
Shout out to my billionaires.
And somehow he pulled a fast one and qualified yesterday.
He pulled a sneaky?
He pulled a sneaky, and that's because he's a billionaire, so he's the only candidate I've seen a bunch of ads for on TV. And that's because he has so much money. So I think that's why he got he went way up in the polls, because he just bought his way up the polls. Let's talk the new year, the new decade. It's 2020.
Yeah.
This is big number time.
Yeah.
We could talk
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions. Do you have any resolutions?
Suck cock.
Suck
Kevin, what's your resolution, you little
shit?
shit?
I got a few.
Oh, God.
I've started.
What have you started?
I've started.
What have you started, Kevin? Tell me.
I've started my new exercising routine.
Oh, God. That's good. Never mind.
Yeah. And I do it every day at night.
Every night at day.
Yes.
Continue.
And basically on the first day of the year,
okay,
I did 1 push-up and 1 sit-up.
1 push-up, 1 sit-up.
Every day that passes, I add on so it's January 9th, or 10th today, so I'll do 10 push-ups and 10 sit-ups, and I'll keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
That would sound like 365 push-ups and sit-ups in one day of the last year and 364 before that. Well, I'm gonna mix it up a little, so
It's gonna mix it up.
I'll do that in February. On the start of February, I'll add squats into the occasion.
Oh, and it'll compensate for the lack of the other
But
ones.
I'll keep doing push-ups and sit-ups for February, and then once February ends and goes into March, I'll keep doing squats in March, but I'll stop the push-ups and sit-ups and then start doing like curls or whatever.
Okay.
And then like I'll bring back the push-ups and sit-ups and kind of switch out, and
Oh.
so it'll be like 60 push-ups and sit-ups in one day by the end of February.
But the reps have to all add up to the day of the year. Yes?
Well, I was just gonna start at 1, like with the squats, so like a new fresh.
Oh, so each month you're kind of restarting.
Well, every time I add something new. So like for February it would be squats, push-ups, and sit-ups. And
Okay.
like we'd be 30 push-ups and sit-ups, which is like 1 squat on the first day.
Nice.
And then going into March, we'd be up to like 30 squats, but we would stop the push-ups and sit-ups and then do like 1 curl and 30
Oh,
squats.
I see. You're
And then
just
going
rota-
into April-
Mm.
Going into April, we would put the squats aside, but keep doing the curls. We'd be
Yeah.
on like 30 curls, and then we would start over at 1 push-up and 1 sit-up.
That's some big brain.
And
wow.
so yeah, I don't know how good it'll do for me.
Kevin,
I noticed I lost.
it's better
1
than
pound.
nothing.
I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to put on more muscle weight. But I lost 1 pound for some reason.
Okay.
Went to 179.
It's because you took a
180.
9-inch long shit. That's why.
Okay, speaking of shitting,
Oh god.
the last 2 days have been quite the shit show, literally. Now it's not that I've had like big shits or anything,
Mhm.
but like it's just not been good. It's not been feeling good down here. Even
Yeah.
this morning, I was like, oh god, I just took one last night, but
Really?
and it started hurting on like Wednesday. It's just I've had a history of problems down here because I don't drink enough water. Zach and I are on the same page.
You
Water
both are idiots.
sucks. I
Water
hate
does not
water.
suck.
Water, it doesn't taste like anything, which
Yeah.
means it tastes bad. You don't like drinking. You're like, oh, why am I drinking this liquid that tastes like empty, like nothingness is in my mouth, and I don't like it. And it makes me like, why would anybody like that? I don't understand. Now it can be refreshing at times, but
Okay.
even when it's refreshing, like after exercising or whatever, it can be
Yeah.
refreshing if it's really
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
But even when it's refreshing, I still don't like enjoy the experience. I would rather get refreshment from something else. I can tolerate it more when it's refreshing, but
Lemon water.
I've been drinking a lot of lemon water.
That's so good.
That is better. I still don't love it, but it's definitely better.
Just flavor your water with like cucumbers.
Well, I don't know if cucumber flavor water.
It makes it taste more. Well,
I would rather. I
makes-
save those cucumbers for something else anyway.
Kevin, you can wash them off.
After I slide them into my asshole.
Yes,
Okay.
Kevin.
I saw a great video. Speaking of assholes, of.
No, you were speaking of assholes. Do not drag me into your conversation.
Okay, well.
Okay, continue.
This will be quick. It was a guy.
A guy.
It's like a 6-second long video. This guy had stuffed his nuts, like his nuts, into his asshole. Actually, you know what? Why don't I just show you the video?
Kevin, no, I don't want this. Kevin,
It's so good.
how
No,
long,
you'll like it. You'll
how
like it.
long are his
It's not-
balls? Is it animated or is it a real person?
Oh no, it's a real person.
Oh no!
Aside from,
Why are you saying that I'll like it?
it's not like disturbing. Aside from the fact that it's not,
That's the
it's
only.
not like gory or anything.
Kevin, no, that's the only aspect of the video. His asshole and his nuts, Kevin. You can't tell
But
me.
we all got them, so it's like,
Okay, yes, but those aren't mine.
you're gonna love the video.
Like, if I see a naked dude, I'm gonna look away. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have one of those.
well, it's just the
haha.
back of him, the back of the video.
I don't
You're
care.
gonna love the video.
Why would I
promise.
love a video of his nuts in his ass? How did he do it?
that's a question.
Kevin.
Also, while they're in there, they're like being crushed horribly.
Okay. Because when something's in your ass, your like instinct is to, oh shit, and you clench, Kevin.
Yeah.
So he crushed his own nuts.
Okay, hold on.
And then you had to shit out his own nuts. Oh, Kevin, I don't want to see it.
You will.
I will. That's so
Oh.
silly that I thought I had a choice. Kevin, stop! I don't.
It's so funny though. The way he does it is so funny. Okay, ready? Is there sound? Actually?
Kevin, I don't want
I don't
to.
think there's sound. You have to. It's important.
No, it's not.
Okay. Let's just play.
Oh, Kevin. Okay, I'm watching.
He farted his nuts. He farted during that. There's sound
Oh, my eyes.
out of his ass.
Oh my god, he had his nuts. Oh my.
So
He had a
good.
big dick.
Yeah. I love the way he lunges up on the counter and it's like, boom. Oh, so good.
Oh my god, he had to do that off camera, then run onto camera and fart out his own nuts. Kevin,
Ouch.
why? Why?
Alright, so now you've been blessed. What else were we talking about? New Year's resolutions. Not doing that is one of them. Well, maybe trying it out, but... Ooh,
God.
somebody else's nuts in your asshole. No, I'm good. Have you really never had a nut go up here?
No. When you say
above?
here, he's pointing to like his pubes.
Yeah, the pubic
I've
area.
never had a nut go up there. I
That's
just know it
crazy.
happens because my friends tell me.
Yeah, well, it's happened to me. I can do it right now.
I don't.
Yeah,
Kevin.
I'm not gonna. It's not fun.
I swear to fucking God.
Okay, New Year's resolutions. Exercising is one. That's the thing that I started doing that I want to keep doing. Also, obviously, completing my magnum opus, my novel.
What's an opus, Kevin?
Magnum opus means like your life's work. This is the best thing you've ever done.
I thought I
Best
heard
thing
of
you've ever achieved.
when you said that I heard of like I thought of like a giant cock, or like an asshole.
Well, a Magnum is a name for like a condom brand, like
Yes.
Magnum, or I think that's
that
what
is
it
true.
is. So, yeah, I could see how you could make that connection. But that is coming along wonderfully. I've written more in the past 4 days than I had in the last month or something like that, and should be done by the end of January, and then published hopefully sometime in March. So there's that. More videos, obviously. Graduating. Should
Kevin,
happen
I'm
with that.
clocked out. You forced me to see those nuts come out.
Well,
Of
I understand you need a little
asshole.
recovery, but
Kevin, I can't switch gears as fast as you.
you got to catch up to get to my level.
Why did both his nuts went bonk bonk?
Well, they couldn't get in there side by side. He had to put in one at a time. So, God, that man is has some dedication right there.
Oh,
I respect that guy. And he wasn't like this, typically with those kind of videos, you see this huge 300-pound, disgusting, hairy animal like me. But no, this guy was he was in decent shape. He didn't have too much hair. He had a surprisingly hairless asshole, and looked like there wasn't much hair on the nuts either. So I imagine the hair would get tangled up with the asshole and probably from the pubes.
like Velcro.
Yeah, like Velcro, exactly. So you got it.
Oh my God.
Okay,
That's
well,
okay.
well, what about you? What are you hoping to get done this year
Kevin,
or do this year?
my New Year's revolution, my movie revolution, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you
Yeah,
about it.
sure.
So, step one
Mm-hmm.
to becoming a billionaire.
Okay.
I read this from what's that guy's name? That one that's knowledge. My Lamborghinis. Lopez. What's his name?
George Lopez.
Kai Lopez. I think it's
Oh,
Kai.
okay, Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez.
Here in my garage.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
With my Lamborghinis. So, I read off him. That's a meme. I didn't actually read off him. But
Mhm.
step one, graduate high school.
Okay,
Step
that's
two.
good. That's a good first step.
Step two, Kevin. Get job that's not scrub life.
Okay.
Like a job with a good a job that's not shit, Kevin. Like a restaurant waiter job
Mm-hmm.
or fast food. That's shit.
That's shit. Yeah. Okay. I could never be a waiter. I'd be too afraid of dropping plates on people.
That's very.
I've seen videos of people big plates and they got a bunch on them and this.
Oh, like on the
drop,
big black plate,
Yeah,
and they have
yeah.
a bunch of little white ones.
and it just drops on
They're
people.
like,
That's
fuck.
that's one of my worst fears. If I was ever a waiter, I would be like, nah.
Well, if that's one of your worst fears, I think you'd be good at the job because you'd be more aware because of your fear.
true. Yeah, but I So yeah, okay. Step
Okay.
2.
Get non-scrub life job
Mm-hmm.
with all the work experience I have, obviously.
Yeah.
Step 3, hang out with the boys.
Okay.
And that's my New Year's revolution.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's my goal, Kevin.
Have you ever thought about sign spinning?
Kevin, that's a scrub life job.
That you're right. You're right.
Okay, but
Well, but
continue.
think about how my mom brought this job up. Said there's somebody hiring or whatever. It said you come in when you want. So you work days you want to work. Don't work days you don't want to work. So it's no like commitment or anything. You work for however many hours. You get paid $15 an hour, or I guess actually it'd be no. She said minimum wage. That's not 15 yet. Bernie wants to make it 15. I'm thinking ahead. So you get paid like $12 an hour just to stand on the side of the road and hold a sign, and you work when you want. And that sounds okay to me. I mean, I don't really like the idea of standing on the side of the road and flashing a sign in all the cars that go by his face, but like it's not the worst. That's not the worst. I don't think. It's decent.
Kevin,
Especially the part of you get to work when you want. You don't have to come in a certain number of days or hours.
Just start your own business, and Kevin, if you just want to work when you want.
I'm going to start my own empire with my book.
Okay, what's your empire?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, Kevin. You don't have steps like in my revolution.
Started looking for an artist though who will draw the cover.
Your grandpa.
No, I mean like online. There's a great Reddit.
Fiverr.
There's a great subreddit where called Hungry Artists, which is just either you make a request or you're an artist and you post your work or whatever.
See, Kevin, I thought you said Hungry Autists. I was like, what the hell?
Hungry Autism.
Hungry
is the name
Autists.
of the...
Kevin, I was like, that's not appropriate. You shouldn't be saying that.
Yep. So, all right then. Those are our New Year's resolutions. Sounds sweet.
Sounds pretty sauce, Kev, but we'll see what goes down.
See what happens. I mean, yours are fairly attainable. It's pretty graduating high school is like a guarantee for us because we're smart and we have big brain.
Yeah, big brain syndrome, but lack of motivation syndrome.
True, but like school is a thing that's just like
school is very hard.
Whatever.
You know people get paid for their TikToks?
That's sad.
Yeah, I know.
I hate TikTok. Never liked it. It's just Vine too.
Yeah.
But worse even.
Was Vine 1 funny?
See, Vine 1, it was occasionally humorous, but like that's it. And then it's Vine meets Musical.ly, and Musical.ly was cancer.
Yeah, no, Musical.ly was not fun. I never even touched it. I did not touch it
me neither.
once.
I've never downloaded Musical.ly or TikTok. Which I'm very proud of. You have betrayed us all.
Kevin, I don't have an account though. I just look at the thingies that are fun.
Okay.
Kevin, and you won't like it, Kevin.
Yeah, probably. I've seen a couple funny ones, but like I see them on YouTube, and I don't know. They're always like self-aware ones that are like making fun of how dumb it is or something like that. There's a couple funny ones, but like there's Vine. There are a couple funny ones on Vine. But yeah.
You didn't even finish that sentence.
Well, that was the end of my thoughts.
Yeah. Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up. Kevin, shut up. Why did you do that? So, Kevin, This is my question to you.
Sure.
Let's take a look at our classic mascot.
Okay.
DMT.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Well, let's touch on that because why not?
So, Kevin. I got a question.
Okay.
We all know what acid is.
Yeah.
You know, I actually didn't know. Fun fact: there's a legal form of LSD that you can take.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, unless that was just bullshit. Anyways, DMT, Kev. It seems to be a little more suspicious than the other psychedelic drugs. Can we both
mysterious?
Agree?
More so than LSD.
LSD
okay.
And the shrooms.
Yeah, I think I can.
Is ecstasy a psychedelic? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Honestly,
it just makes you extra happy and then you kill yourself.
Yeah, it's probably one of the no-nos. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Why is it so sus, Kev?
DMT.
Of course.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I
it's a
learned
religious
little more.
drug, right?
A what?
It's a religious drug.
I mean, kinda. So there's some I've been listening. I listened to Joe Rogan and I listened to some people, and like every episode, almost every episode of Joe Rogan, you can guarantee they'll at least mention DMT, and they said that there's like some biblical scholars, like Christian. Not they're not Christian, but they study the Bible, and they've come to. There's this one guy in particular. After 14 years of being like a master and knowing what everything the Bible's about. Let me back up a little. There was a team of people who discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yes, I know who they are. The
And,
Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah, continue.
And everyone on the team was Christian except for one guy who was agnostic, meaning he didn't really have any strong beliefs either way. And after discovering the Dead Sea Scrolls and studying the Bible and like becoming a master of everything there was to know about Christianity and the Bible.
The agnostic dude?
Yeah, the agnostic
Okay,
dude.
continue.
Came to the conclusion that all of the visions that came off, and all of the visions and all of the stories, or almost all the stories that aren't like rooted like 100% historical, are all based on predominantly DMT trips and DMT experiences, and that the burning bush, for example, is like a metaphor for the tree or the plant, the acacia plant, I believe it is, that DMT comes from. And
DMT comes from the acacia tree?
I think it's acacia. I'm pretty sure. I was surprised by that too, and I think it was like, oh yeah, that is...
Fact checked. Continue.
Yeah, fact check me. And that, I think he said that he decided that Jesus was a metaphor for... The metaphor was that God came, like ejaculated onto the earth, and everything that has come touched became like DMT or became a really powerful psychedelic that would open people's mind, and Jesus was the metaphor for those plants that do that. And like that was he was 100% after 14 years he was like, this is definitely it. And that's really interesting, and I think that might have some weight to it, because a lot of the things that are like in the Bible sound very psychedelic, DMT or not, you know. On a side note, though, but still on DMT, I've learned that the two different types of DMT, the NN DMT and then like the 5-MeO DMT, the reason the 5-MeO DMT was made in the first place because the natural one, the NN, was like banned in the 70s when they did the huge banning of a bunch of drugs. And
Boomers.
Yeah, boomers. And but 5-MeO was not. Well, actually, no. I think 5-MeO was made after the fact, so it wasn't illegal. But it's way more. I hear some conflicting reports. I can never keep it straight of which one is like. I know there's like really different experiences, and I think the 5-MeO is the one where you actually like see stuff, and the normal one is more, and that's like where ayahuasca comes from.
The 5-MeO?
Yeah, and you gotta like test that stuff to figure out if it's good or not.
Update, Kevin.
Sure.
So you can get it from the bark of a acacia tree,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not that much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I know there's other plants that you get it from too.
yeah, the most common plant is called Mimosa hostilis, and I don't know where you even find that. So we can make our own DMT.
Yeah, and I think there's another plant called begins with a C. Cicacia or something similar. Probably not that, but it's close, and I know that because I put that plant in my book, like in brief passing, like as a reference.
Okay, so how they make DMT is that they take the bark of this thing called the Mimosa hostilis, also known as the Jurema preta or Calumbai in Brazil, or Tepes cohete, something like that, in Mexico. Basically, this stuff all grows in Southern America.
Okay.
Or Central America, too, since it's Mexico. Basically, what they do is they take the bark of this thing, and it kind of looks like a fern.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
So it's like the young one, and then, like, I'm assuming this right there is the bark of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so they take the bark of it, grind it up into fine dust, add a little liquid here and there, and all of a sudden you got DMT.
Mm.
Boom, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong.
Nice. It's as simple as that.
And yeah, so that's basically how they do it.
Yep.
And Kevin, that shit's sus. DMT is sus.
You still want to...
Of course.
Okay.
Well, I saw the video. I sent you the link to that one video, like that one girl that almost died because of it.
Yeah, I think, I mean...
That was like the most religious one I've seen before, though. Like, religious taking of it.
Yeah. You really gotta be in the right place, in the right... You really... Like, it sounds kind of hippy-dippy, but you really have to have the right mindset and the right intentions going in. Speaking of, or this is kind of what I wanted to go to, was Ari Shaffir, who's a comedian, and he's like good friends with Joe Rogan. He's on the podcast all the time. He's part of like the group that does Sober October every year. The two things, the first relating to DMT, he's only taken DMT once, and he took it with like his girlfriend, and they laid out on like the back porch in their backyard, and when he was on it, he saw a figure like come out of the trees and come down right up to him, and it like looked at him and then shook his head and said nope, and like went off and went away, and that was the whole experience. Like he wasn't ready for whatever it was going to take him to, but his girlfriend was like, oh my god, that was the craziest. Like it was a DMT trip. It was like full blown.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I guess I didn't take enough, or I guess like he said the figure said I wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. So you have to be ready, and like the beings that you see know if you're ready or not, and like, which is pretty crazy. But also Ari Shaffir, I watched a video apparently like 8 years ago. He took salvia, which I've heard of before, and I kind of always heard bad stuff about it. Like I'm pretty sure it's not really safe, but he took it on a podcast.
Okay.
And like what he does is he takes, I think it's like, yeah, it's definitely a psychedelic. He takes like one hit out of a bong, but it's not enough to really get him, like blast him off. So he's just kind of feels kind of dazed. And then he takes another hit, which is like a mega hit. Goes as hard as he can. And he said afterwards that like, or he said now more recently that the mega hit that he took on the second go would have been enough to get him through, but that coupled with the first hit he took was like something so powerful. What happened is he like passes out only for like 30 seconds, and then he starts freaking out, like, and the other guys try to start grabbing him, and he's like shaking, and it's like, no, don't pull me out, don't wake me up, don't pull me out, or he says something like that, and there's video of this, and like then he just kind of falls over and collapses, and the other guys hold him for like the next 10 minutes or whatever. But he's described on another podcast more recently what exactly happened to him, like from his perspective. And like he passes out, and then he wakes up, and he's living in this civilization that was underwater, and he's like an underwater creature. But they got like sports, and he's got a job, and he's got friends, and he's got a family, and he's got this wife that he's like never really met in real life. And he says that he was there, from his perspective, for anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, living day-to-day life with these kids and this wife and these friends and these family, and going to sports games and having a job and all this stuff, and swimming around underwater. For some reason, it was like all completely normal except it was underwater. And he was there. To him, it felt like that long, but it wasn't like... I've heard horror stories of people who freak out because they like stuck in this endless hell that lasts like a year from their perspective. But for him, it was like this positive experience, and he thought that's what his life was. And then one day, he is like swimming along on the surface, and he sees one of the other guys in the podcasting room, sitting like on the beach in a chair, and he's sitting in real life. He's sitting across from him, and he kind of goes up to him, and then all of a sudden, he feels himself being pulled out, and that's why he says, "No, don't pull me out, don't pull me out," and then he gets pulled out, and he can still remember everything that happened in like those 2 years, and he thought it was all real. So I mean, that's pretty wild.
That's, what's it called? Sativa? Salvia?
Yeah.
Salvia.
And I know there are other drugs that also distort time, but like I've never heard of one that goes that crazy.
Oh my
that, like,
goodness.
Creates a whole new life. I've heard of people in comas who like have dreams like that where they think they're living some other life and then one day they wake up. But always with that, it's like they want to go back and they get super depressed. But with him, he's just like, yeah, it was all a trip, or maybe it was real.
Do you want to get 120 tablets of salvia for like $15? I just looked it up and I just saw that. That's so stupid.
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'll pass.
So apparently, salvia is also known as the sage of the diviners.
And also the reason they had the salvia and they did it was because that was one of the drugs that wasn't illegalized, so it was legal forever. But yeah, go
on. Basically, it's... So you take its leaves and you smoke it, or you can drink it, or you can chew the leaves. Mm-hmm. You can drink it as a tea or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Then the leaves contain an opioid-like compound.
Mm-hmm.
End of story.
Yeah, so I mean, I've heard conflicting reports. His experience was good, but I think I've heard some people who did not have good experiences, so that's a little more... I don't know if I want to do that one, but it's still very interesting. It's like he lived an extra 2 years, but he didn't live, but in real life it was only like 10 minutes.
Kevin.
And he had a happy life with this wife that he's never met in real life, which was the really weird... There's like these people that he's never met, so maybe it was some alternate reality dimension that he tapped into. So anyway, yeah.
So Kevin, about the, what's it called? The time distortion.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true.
Mm-hmm. I heard it happens on LSD too.
Yes, it does. It's very true.
Not as much. Like how so? What? Like was it?
Okay. Like time goes much faster.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least when I did it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No!
Stupid.
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
it's fine, though.
Well, so, when I did it, time was faster. It was much...
Oh, yeah, because you said the music sounded a little faster, right?
The music?
Normal,
so,
everything was a little faster.
These are 2 songs I listened to. My 2 favorite songs by E-Double.
Mm.
Drink with Your Headphones On, and Roblox Can't Drink. I've listened to the songs for a fat minute. Probably like more than a year now.
Yeah.
But when I was listening to them when I was on acid, they sounded fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it stressed me out how fast it was actually going.
Yeah.
And so our friends and I went to a haunted house when I was on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd think, that's not a good idea. You're going to have a bad trip. It was actually absolutely fucking hilarious and funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because, you know, the kaleidoscope, you look through the kaleidoscope and you see all those, like, things and you, like, twist it. That's basically what I saw, but, like, on a very transparent level. I could still see my hand. Mm-hmm. I wasn't like, I can't tell.
You look at the wall and all the little spots.
Yeah, and you can see.
Twisting.
Yeah, and I could, like, honestly, if I were on it, I feel I could have a totally normal conversation. Like, you know, I wouldn't be like, whoa, look at the freaking space dolphins. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't be like that.
Everything just looks weird.
You know, you just
still function.
It's just like an extra lens on your eyes. So you're like, oh, that's cool. So, from my friend's house to the, so I'll just explain the whole trip, I guess.
All right, let's do it.
So, we start at my friend's house. I'm not going to give away locations or names because, you know, blah, blah, blah. So
come up with a fake name, something epic.
So his name is Craig.
Craig.
So Craig was like, "Yo, let's go to this haunted house. It's October." And I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty chill." So from this person's house, right before we were gonna leave to go to the haunted house, I took the tab, and what they look like is minuscule, tiny little blue tabs.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't hard or anything. It was almost like paper.
Oh, okay.
Just pop it in your mouth. You swallow it whole.
Tongue, yeah.
You can swallow it whole, or you can let it dissolve, or whatever the hell you want. Then, dun 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 dun, we get in the car. In the car, I'm just chilling. You know, I'm just listening to music, vibing out, and then from his house to the haunted house, it's about a 40-minute drive. Between 30 and 40 minutes, depending how fast you drive, depending on the traffic, but we'll say it's 40 minutes. So, my other friend was also on it with me, and he's very funny. So I look at him, and we're getting into the parking lot of the what's it called? Of the
haunted house.
The haunted house. And it kicks in. It just starts to kick in. And it feels at first when I took it, it felt like whoa. Like, you know, like in like any acid trip that you do, like that you'd see on TV in like a cartoon. Or like a flashback, like whoa, you know, that like type of feeling. It felt like I was in a slow moving warm current just that's going in a circle basically. So I'm like, whoa, that's really cool. But when it happens, this is what I say. I just look at him. I'm just like, God damn it, dude. God damn it. I'm just like, God fuck you, Roman. That's not his real name, but fuck you, Roman. And he's just laughing with me. And one of the side effects of LSD or acid is when it first kicks in, you get really giggly. So I'm just laughing my ass off with him. You know, doing all this stupid stuff. Funny, right? So we get out of the car, and it's almost like my vision was being focused like unconsciously focused on one thing. Because I'd look around, and like on my peripheral visions, everything would be like swirling around. And like they would be swirling around, but like into the direction of of the center of my vision. And like by the time it would get into the center of my vision, it'd be gone. So that I'd only see it, and like it almost looked like it's like focusing in on something. So I'd be like, whoa, this is really cool. And we go into a line, and like the line takes forever because haunted houses are fucking whatever. And for me at least, I don't know how everyone else, but for me, the most interesting thing was my mouth. And I don't mean like I wasn't sticking my hands in my mouth. Like my tongue in my mouth felt so strange to me.
Like you were just conscious of the fact that there was a tongue in your mouth the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it felt like, man, my tongue is taking up way too much space in my mouth. This is strange.
Yeah.
I'd be like, like that, you know?
My whole mouth has a tongue in it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd started thinking, wow, this is how, like, people probably die from, like, LSD because they, like, choke on their tongue.
Oh.
And I was like, I started to get super self-conscious. And I was like, okay, I'm going to swallow right now. And I swallow. I'm like, okay, I can still breathe. Cool. And then, like, this guy in a werewolf mask comes, and I look at him, and I just look directly in his eyes. And like when I say his eyes, I don't mean the werewolf eyes. I mean his eyes. Like I saw through, and I just looked at him. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know it did that. And I'm like,
that's great.
And like to me, if I were to look at someone that act like that, I'd obviously think they're on drugs. Like like that's just not how you're supposed to act. It's like I was acting loopy. So I was walking through the maze, and like contrary to like what you'd think, it's not like if you're drunk. Like, it's not like, whoa, I can't keep my balance, I'm walking here and there. No, I could walk in a fucking straight line. You know, I was just walking, having fun. I was very talkative. You know, I was constantly laughing, very talkative. So we get through the maze and all that fun stuff. But during the maze, I was like, okay. Like, I was like, I don't know why I was like this, but I was dead-ass serious. So I was like, if anyone actually gets really scared, I've already been through this maze with my girlfriend, so I can just walk out with you if you want. And my good friend... she was like, oh, okay, I get kind of scared easily, you know, I'm kind of claustrophobic, I have asthma, so, you know, I'll make sure, you know, I'll tell you. And I'm like, oh, okay, very cool. And I was so hung up on not letting anyone be behind me. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there were 6 people in our group. And I was so high-strung about, get in front of me, don't get left behind. What are you doing? I was like, and I'm not usually, you know, I'm not usually fucking like that. I'm not like, get in front of me. But that's what I was like. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So we just get through the maze, and I'm just like, yeah, cool. And then my friend, Rome, that's also on acid, he goes, I need to go take a piss. And I'm like, okay, I'll come with you because, you know, we just gotta look out for each other. So we go into the bathroom, and instantly, he just grabs me, turns me to the mirror, he's like, look at our pupils. And our pupils are fucking huge, obviously, right? Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, that's really cool, that's insane. And we're like laughing and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, this police officer...
What? I did not know this.
There are police officers at haunted houses. There's actually even canine units.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, there's safety officers and police officers. And this guy came in with, like, his yellow, like, bright yellow reflective tape vest. and he went to go take a piss. But we were looking at our eyes, laughing our asses off, and we're like, right when he walks in, this is what we act like. Ha! Look at our eyes. And we just go silent. We just go fucking silent.
Well, at least you knew to go silent. Like,
No, but it was like awkward
Yeah.
silence. We just went straight face. And I just eyeballed him, and I'm like, go to the bathroom, you idiot. And that's
Yeah.
what I said. I was like, go to the bathroom, you idiot. The girls are waiting. And I'm like, I'll wait outside. So I wait outside. And and I see him in his stall, but like the doors of the stall, they don't, like, he stood up and I could see his head. And he just looks at me from through the stall, through the door, and I'm standing outside just staring at him. He's like looking around like a fucking meerkat. He's like, what the fuck am I doing in this stall? And I see him, I see the action of him pulling down his pants, and he pulls down his pants, and he like keeps looking around again. He's like, what the fuck am I doing here? And he looks at the toilet, he sits down for like 0.2 seconds, pops back up again, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Roman? And he like pops back in, he's like, what the fuck am I? And he sits back down for like a minute, comes back up, and I look at him, he pulls up his pants, and just walks out. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, Roman? But he like washes his hands and stuff. And while he's washing his hands, like, I just zone out. Like, I zone out, and I'm just like staring at the wall. I'm like making scenarios in my head, like, oh, what if the werewolf is real? Or, you know, shit like that. And he's like, are you ready to go? And I like jump, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Okay. How long was I there? And,
yeah.
and I was like, he was like, I just washed my hands. So I was like, probably like 30 seconds. It felt like 40 minutes I was standing there, just staring at the wall.
So it slowed down right there.
It slowed down hella. So we go back to the car, and me and him are fucking tripping balls. And all of a sudden, it just kicks into high gear. I don't know how to describe it. It just kicks into high gear. Like, you can see all these shapes, all these colors. Like, if you get me like a fucking thing, I could probably draw them. But like shapes and colors just dashing across my face, my like vision, or like my line of sight. And like, you know how before it was like all focusing on something? This time it was very like violent. It was like, whoa, shit's everywhere. So we hop back in the car. I asked my friend to play the song Drink With Your Headphones On by E-Double. And I listened to it. I'm like, I'm stressing out, bro. This shit's fast. What the fuck? And I'm like, yo, where'd you get the song? Off YouTube? And she's like, oh yeah, I did. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's fast. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I just lay my head back and close my eyes. And like, I'm just, doing the same thing. I'm just chilling out. I'm just staring at all the pretty visuals. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're at his house again. Or sorry, no, we go to QFC, which is like 5 minutes from his house. So it's a 40-minute drive, and it felt like 10 minutes. And I'm like, what? Where are we? And I like, yo, Roman, where are we? And he like starts looking around. He's like, wait, guys, where are we? And I'm like, uh-oh, this guy's going to have to go into QFC not knowing where he is. So Roman is like, where are we, guys? Like seriously, what are we doing here? Where are we? And like, my friend's like, she's like, we're in QFC, stop, what are you doing? And I'm just like, Roman, get something for dinner, and then let's buy it and go. And he goes, what? Oh, okay.
Wait, was it just you and him that were
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, I'm like, and he's like, what? Oh, okay. And he walks like 5 steps in front of me, stops, turns around, he goes, wait, where are we? What are we doing? And I'm just like, Roman, you fucking idiot. And we walk through the aisles, and I'm like, okay, look, there's Craig. Go to Craig, grab something to eat, and then just follow him to the cashier. And by the time we like get to QFC, it's like 11 at night because of the haunted house. And he's like, what? Okay. So I see him walk towards Craig. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. He's walking, whatever, I don't care. So I go to the chip aisle. And as I turn into the chip aisle, I see Roman standing on the other side of the chip aisle across from me. And I'm like, Roman, you fucking idiot. So I go to the next aisle, and he's there. And I'm like, God damn it. So I start running faster and faster, and I stop. And we both stop and stare at each other at another aisle. And we walk towards each other. And I'm like, you are fucking tweaking right now, dude. He's like, what? I'm like, go get something to eat. He's like, I'm not hungry. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go. So we get back in the car. And again, Craig's house is like 5 minutes away. So we go to this house, and they cook up the pasta. They got pasta, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm chilling, and I eat a cookie. It's a snickerdoodle cookie, okay? So it's very...
Those.
What?
I like snickerdoodle cookies.
Yeah, so it's a very... it's just a cookie, but, like, it had a lot of cinnamon and sugar on it, so it's very grainy at the top of it when I was chewing. And when I was chewing it, I felt like I was gonna fucking choke and die. Like, when I bit it, I ate all of it. I just felt this ball in my mouth growing. And my girlfriend, she was like, "What are you doing?" Because she just sees me going like this. And, like, it's me just opening my mouth as wide as I can while my lips are closed. And I'm just like, "What?" And I just turned her, "What?" And the chewed up cookie falls out of my mouth. And I'm like, shit, fuck. So I have to, like, clean it up and everything. And Roman is sitting on the couch. And he's just looking through Instagram, and he stares at this picture of a sunset and, like, a dude on his bike. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, whatever, who cares? I come back 15 minutes later. He's staring at the same Instagram post still. And he's like, bro, look at this. This is really cool. I'm like, yeah, you already showed me this. And I'm just like, yo, you want some water? He's like, yeah, I do. Because one of the side effects of taking acid is you get a really dry mouth. Mm. So so I get him some water, and then we're like, okay, we're all done eating. We go upstairs, we go eat dinner, or we go watch a movie and all that fun shit. And by that time, all the visuals were, like, calming down, and it wasn't visuals anymore. It's more just, like, feeling. Mm-hmm. So, like, I, like, felt very, very warm. I felt very, like, fuzzy. My mouth was still kind of fucked up. Like, it felt like it was, like, very... my mouth felt very claustrophobic. Like, there's too much stuff in it. And, LSD also, like... Or acid also, like, keeps you awake for a very long time. So, like, it's, like... Takes 30 to 40 minutes in order to activate. About 10 to 15 minutes... maybe even 20 minutes into the trip, you get the peak. Mm-hmm. That's when everything started going, like, super, like, that was after when I was out of the bathroom. And then from the peak, it's just all slow downhill come down. So by the time it was, like, 1 in the morning, and I was just chilling on the couch, and apparently it was, like, hella cold in the room, but I was sweating like a motherfucker. It was super hot. And before we took this, my friend was like, yeah, if we go into the hot tub, don't do it, because it's probably going to feel like it's burning you. Or, like, the cold is going to feel like it's super cold. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, as, like, to come down and, like, it's all over now, everyone's asleep, and I'm just chilling because I can't sleep, because it's keeping me awake, I listen to the song one more time, right? It's still fast. And I'm just like, motherfucker, why is this song so fast? So after that, I just listen to the song, and I'm like, whatever. I go to bed. Next morning, all that stuff, whatever, who the hell cares? 4 days later, I listen to the same song. It's still fast.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Whoa.
The piano solo at the beginning of the song is still fast.
Faster than it was before.
Yes, faster, as if I was still on the acid. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then, like, a couple days later, I listened to it again, it's like, I couldn't tell if it was fast or not. And then now, sometimes I hear it fast, sometimes I hear it normal.
Wow. That's it. Really interesting.
It was fucking insane.
Huh. Wow. Well, yeah, I've heard a lot of that kind of stuff, like feeling waters or feeling way hotter than it actually is, or colder.
Yeah.
And feeling like there's too much stuff in your mouth. Like, you got a lot of stuff in your mouth. You got teeth, you got tongue, I got these braces things.
You don't have your braces?
Well, the little things behind the teeth.
Oh, yeah, I have those too.
Yeah. And,
your tongue, to me, my tongue felt swollen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, takes up your whole mouth when it's in there, when it's just closed. Yeah, but I've heard of... I mean, that's interesting that you were able to be, like, more aware of stuff and more, like, clear-headed than your friend was. Like, you knew you're at the QFC to get food. And
he was so embarrassing.
Yeah, so that's interesting, though. I wonder why that is...
It's different for everyone, probably, obviously, but, like... It's not like, probably for you, you'd react the same way as I did. We're pretty solid mentally, you know, we're not small-brained. But, like, it wasn't disorienting. It was just, oh, visuals. That's like
Yeah.
really it.
Yeah, that makes me think that maybe there is like, or it's got to do with similar to if you're ready or not for DMT. It's like how
well would you take
how
it?
well where you take it, how well prepared are you, or how like where's your mental state at?
Yeah,
Where's
exactly. Like if you freak out on the acid, like where are we? What are we doing?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Yeah,
You know,
you're not
not
as
ready.
there as
Yeah.
you are
But,
if you
like,
don't.
yeah. I feel like there's like a almost what's it called? Like a unspoken rule about that stuff, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you don't see a dude just walk into the gym and then all of a sudden start benching 300, you know, he warms up,
Yeah.
you know? So I feel that's like
Oh yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah.
like yeah. I don't know, like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people also just get addicted to weed,
hmm
and like that's a very low level type shit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of addiction, unless it's something crazy like heroin, or
Cocaine!
a really hard drug, but addiction, if it's to weed or to LSD or anything similar, it's got to do with you not being all there mentally and prepared for it. And
You can
Following
you can get
unspoken
addicted to
rule.
LSD.
no, you can't actually.
I was about
But
to
so that's
say.
a bad example. But if you like to
Like
weed,
weed,
or
yeah.
to something that's more like not dangerous, even things that are dangerous but like aren't super addictive, it's more to do with like
Just who like
Just
your
like
brain.
yeah, like
That has
your
nothing to do with the
mind.
drug. It's the brain.
Yeah, it's different because some people just smoke weed like once a month or
Yeah, just on a blue moon.
yeah,
Like
but some people
yeah.
do it all the time, and you gotta know, like you gotta tell yourself like I'm not gonna do this all the time or not gonna be crazy. drugged
Yeah,
out
it's
all the
it's
time.
like it's like a bee sting because like, you know, oh, if I get stung by a bee, it's like ow,
Mm.
rub it a little, put ice, maybe some ointment. Other people have to go to the fucking ER for that shit. You
Mhm.
know, like it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like about the weed addiction though, like my sister's a pre-med student or like a med student, and she was telling me like, yeah, actually there are people out there that will substitute a substance for an emotion.
Really,
Like-
that's interesting.
Like if they're feeling sad or depressed, they will smoke weed
yeah,
constantly.
sure. They'll try to make themselves.
But here's the thing about that. Your brain will grow based on the experiences you have and how you deal with emotion, you know?
Mhm.
So, like, if I'm really angry and I just calm down, my brain will learn from that. It will grow. But if you constantly smoke weed in response to a emotion, you'll get addicted to it and your brain will literally not grow.
Mhm.
Like, it will literally just not grow.
That makes a lot of sense. Like because yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you can't treat that stuff as you can't treat it as trying to replace anything for like take your mind off your emotion or the problems you're dealing with isn't a good idea. You need to like with DMT, you shouldn't expect it to like solve all your problems.
Yeah,
Any drug,
no.
You shouldn't expect it to solve all your problems. You should figure out your stuff and then do it and then take weed or
Exactly.
whatever. And like just have it be like an enjoyable thing that makes you appreciate life more or appreciate
Yeah, you're
people more.
like,
But,
it's not an answer, but
It
you
should
can
be,
definitely learn from it.
yeah, and it should be like an enhancement and not like a solution.
Yes, exactly. Like, yeah, that's why, like, there's people out there that literally are, like, drug addicts that don't know how to interact with
Mhm.
other people.
Yeah.
They literally don't because they don't have the experience. Their brain cannot comprehend. This does not have the capacity
Mhm.
to actually do that shit. And I just find that very stupid.
Yeah, really interesting.
Well, yeah, and also, like, just weed is obviously much. I mean, it's debatable. Weed is more harmful than LSD. That's debatable.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They're putting around the same level.
Yeah, but I want to say weed is more because it's easier to get to.
Mm.
Because weed isn't illegal. LSD is, even though there's that legal form of it, which I don't get, but,
Yeah.
which is very strange. But, man, that shit was. I would recommend.
Yeah. for
You
sure.
and me, we're just going to sit down and have a whiteboard and just turn on a mic and just draw what we see.
Yeah.
That's
good.
the plan.
That's the plan.
That's what we're going to do. But we have to go all the way up north. That's where you get it.
It's like Twin Peaks. You gotta go north, get to the whatever the place was where all the drugs and the prostitutes are.
The South Side Serpents, Kevin.
Oh, now you're getting to the real good stuff. Riverdale.
I was gonna say Riverside,
Riverside.
but same thing, same difference. But whatever.
Nice.
So that's the story of my trip, Kevin.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap it up?
We could wrap it up, unless there's anything else we want to touch on.
There's always next time.
There's always next time. You're right. All right. Well, let's that's it.
That's been me and
That's
Kevin
been
and
the
Kevin
boys.
and me.
For another great time
Yeah,
with the boys.
the boys and me.
And
Adios.
Me, you, me. All right. Awesome.
Outro music. Goodbye, guys.